One of the promises we hold on to in the Bible is, "And the Lord will make you the head and not the tail. You shall be above only, and not be beneath, if you heed the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you today, and are careful to observe them." Deuteronomy 2, verse 13. This is a wonderful promise from God to us as believers. However, several years ago, I found myself clinging to this and other promises in Scripture, yet my situation remained unchanged. I prayed and fasted, but nothing seemed to shift. In His mercy, God eventually revealed to me the key to living a truly fulfilling life, a life that positions anyone to genuinely become the head and not the tail, to be above and not beneath. The secret the Lord revealed to me is this: living a life of impact. It's a phrase we often hear, but sadly, the depth and magnitude of this truth remain largely undiscovered by many. Before this revelation, a part of me was chasing after material things, running helter-skelter in pursuit of what I thought would bring fulfillment. But after the Lord opened my eyes to this secret, I realized that many of the things we long for will naturally come our way when we focus on living an impactful life. It is my desire that as you read or listen to this article, the Lord will open the eyes of your heart and lead you into a life that is truly fulfilling. But what is impact? Impact is the ability to influence a person, a group of people, a situation, or a system. It can be either positive or negative, shaping outcomes, behaviors, and perspectives in meaningful ways. However, the kind of impact we are called to make should always be positive. True impact goes beyond mere presence. It involves actively making a difference through our actions, decisions, and words. Whether in personal relationships, professional settings, or society at large, impact is measured by the lasting change it brings. A life of impact inspires, uplifts, and transforms. It leaves a legacy that continues to influence others long after we are gone. If there is one thing the Lord desires of us, it is to influence our world positively. In Matthew 5, Jesus calls us the salt of the earth and the light of the world, emphasizing the influence we are meant to have in this world. Salt preserves, enhances, and prevents decay. Just as we are called to uphold righteousness, add value to others, and counter moral decline in society, light dispels darkness, bringing clarity, guidance, and hope, just as our lives should reflect God's truth and love, illuminating the path for those around us. Our impact should not be passive but intentional, shaping the world through our actions, words, and character. Unfortunately, the devil has strategically shifted our focus from making an impact to merely chasing after money and other mundane pursuits. For many, life's goals now revolve around financial gain and personal ambition, often at the expense of the true impact they are called to make. They forget that when you become a person of impact, the things you desire will often follow naturally. The purpose of this article is to highlight practical ways to become a person of impact in today's world. If you desire to positively influence those around you, and ultimately, the world at large, I encourage you to embrace the following recommendations. 1. Grow your relationship with God. Ultimately, growing our relationship with God is the surest way to make a meaningful impact. As we take root downward by deepening our relationship with God, we will bear fruit upward, meaning our impact will be visible to others. At no point should you become too busy to nurture your relationship with God, as He is the source of our strength. 2. Be generous and kind. You cannot truly make an impact until you cultivate generosity and kindness. Everything God has deposited in you is meant to bless others, but it won't flow through you unless you choose to be generous and kind. Without these two virtues, you'll be like the man in Matthew 18 whose debt was forgiven, yet he refused to forgive others. 3. Move from knowing to doing. It's easy to assume that knowledge alone is enough to create an impact, but in reality, true impact comes from applying that knowledge through action. While knowing something is important, it's doing something with that knowledge that leads to tangible results. Unfortunately, many people today stop at the stage of merely acquiring knowledge, whether through formal education, personal study, or professional experience. As a result, they miss out on the opportunities to truly make a difference in their lives or the lives of others. The challenge is that simply possessing knowledge does not guarantee success or fulfillment. In fact, many individuals spend years earning degrees, certificates, or other accolades only to find that they haven't achieved the desired outcomes. It's crucial to understand that knowledge alone, no matter how extensive, won't lead to rewards if it isn't put into action. You could hold multiple degrees, including advanced qualifications like PhDs, yet still fail to see meaningful results if you don't actively apply what you've learned in the world around you. The key to making a significant impact is translating knowledge into action. Knowledge should empower you to make decisions, solve problems, and create change. Without action, that knowledge remains dormant, unable to affect your environment or those around you. Therefore, it's important not just to accumulate knowledge, but to actively engage with it, share it, and use it to influence your world in a meaningful way. 4. Possess a sense of mission. We live in a world filled with countless distractions, social media, entertainment, and the pressures of daily life. In the midst of these, it's easy to lose sight of the true purpose of our existence. Without a clear sense of mission, we can find ourselves drifting, pursuing fleeting pleasures or worldly goals rather than living for a higher calling. Jesus teaches us that our lives are meant to be impactful. Just as salt preserves and enhances flavor and light dispels darkness, we are called to be change agents in the world, bringing hope, clarity, and transformation to those around us. Our mission goes beyond personal success or recognition. It's about reflecting God's glory in every sphere of life, our careers, relationships, and communities. We are not here merely to exist or go through the motions, but to live intentionally, creating meaningful change through love, integrity, and compassion. Every action becomes an opportunity to showcase God's power and demonstrate how His grace can transform lives. Yet, this mission cannot be fulfilled without a strong sense of purpose. Without it, we become vulnerable to distractions, chasing ambitions, material gain, or the approval of others. These pursuits, though not inherently wrong, can pull us away from our true calling if they are not rooted in purpose. A clear sense of mission provides direction and focus. It anchors us in our values, guides us through life's challenges, and keeps us aligned with God's will. It reminds us that our lives are meant for something far greater than ourselves, a legacy of impact that reflects the heart of God. 5. Strive to become. Several years ago, one of my mentors shared a profound piece of wisdom with me. Strive to be, not to have, because once you become, you will have. This statement has deeply influenced my perspective and has become a personal mantra, shaping the way I approach life and purpose. Through this insight, I've come to understand that true fulfillment and lasting success are not found in acquiring things, but in becoming the person God has designed you to be. In a world that often prioritizes material success, social status, and personal gain, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. Yet pursuing who God has called you to be offers far greater value than anything this world can offer. Becoming is a journey of personal growth, self-awareness, and deep alignment with God's will. As you seek to fulfill His purpose, you develop the character, wisdom, and resilience needed to impact others meaningfully. This process not only transforms you, but also allows you to influence the world around you for good. When you grow into who God intended, your life becomes a blessing to others. Your actions, words, and presence begin to inspire and uplift those around you. Personal transformation creates a ripple effect, changing lives, shaping communities, and reflecting God's love in tangible ways. I've also discovered that as you focus on becoming, God's blessings naturally follow. The more you align with His purpose and commit to serving others, the more you experience His favor, provision, and peace. The path of becoming is not one of striving in vain, it's one of divine partnership where growth leads to grace and purpose leads to provision. So my encouragement to you is this: focus on becoming the person God has created you to be. Trust that as you walk in obedience to His calling, everything else, success, joy, opportunities, and blessings will fall into place. The key is not to chase after things, but to pursue the life of purpose and identity God has already prepared for you. 6. Stop looking for opportunities and instead look for problems to solve. One common misconception many people hold is the belief that success comes from constantly searching for the right opportunity. We often fixate on finding the perfect moment, the ideal opening, or the breakthrough chance. While this mindset seems logical, it can actually be limiting. The truth is, opportunities are often drawn to those who focus on solving problems. When we live with the intention of making a difference and providing solutions, opportunities begin to find us. Shifting our mindset from chasing opportunities to identifying and addressing real-world challenges positions us as solution-oriented individuals. Whether in our personal lives or professional endeavors, dedicating ourselves to solving problems not only creates impact, but also builds a reputation for reliability, initiative, and leadership. In any field, growth begins with a willingness to improve what's not working. History is filled with people who made lasting contributions, not by waiting for opportunities to appear, but by seeking out the problems that needed solutions. As they addressed those needs, doors began to open, paving the way for success and legacy. In business, for instance, rather than waiting for the perfect time to launch a product or service, consider what unmet needs exist in the marketplace. Your solution could become the opportunity. Likewise, in your career or personal life, identifying and responding to challenges can build trust and credibility, leading to opportunities beyond what you imagined. When we make it our goal to solve problems, we naturally align ourselves with the flow of opportunity. We become leaders, innovators, and influencers, not by chasing success, but by creating meaningful change. So instead of relentlessly pursuing opportunities, focus on making a difference. As you do, you'll find that opportunities will begin to pursue you. 7. Build meaningful relationships. Pastor Sam Adeyemi once said, "Proximity is the key to impact." You cannot aspire to become a person of impact without building meaningful relationships. If indeed we are the salt of the earth, we must make contact with the world in order to influence it. Unfortunately, in my observation, I have discovered that many believers need to grow in the skill of building relationships. We are not truly reflecting the glory of God the way we should because we lack relationship skills. As a result, we are unable to fully benefit from the greater good in the hearts of the people God has strategically positioned around us. 8. Pursue excellence. Excellence is the language of success. If you undermine excellence, you limit your impact because others may not be drawn to your light. While I deeply value spirituality, I have discovered that without the pursuit of excellence, our impact can be short-lived. Excellence in what we do not only reflects our dedication, but also attracts others, enabling us to make a lasting and meaningful difference. In conclusion, living a life of impact is more than a noble aspiration. It is a divine calling that demands intentional action, a clear sense of purpose, and a commitment to both personal and spiritual growth. By embracing the key principles outlined, deepening your relationship with God, cultivating kindness, translating knowledge into action, embracing a sense of mission, striving to become who God has called you to be, solving problems, building meaningful relationships, and pursuing excellence, you position yourself not only to fulfill your God-given potential, but also to leave a lasting impact on the world around you.